Coach Smith, welcome to the BCAM podcast.
Thanks for having me, Mike. It's always great to be a part of the BCAM weekend, and especially the Coaches Clinic, and to see so many familiar faces that we don't often get to see. So it's great to be here.
Thank you. Coach, you have a reputation throughout the state of not only having great relationships with the high school coaches as a recruiter, but you're also an exceptional teacher. When a coach goes to your practice, they see how you break down a drill, how you teach an offense, how you develop skill. Can you talk a little bit about your teaching philosophy and how you go about planning?
First of all, thank you. I mean, I think that's maybe the greatest compliment that someone who's called coach can get, is because ultimately, we know we are teachers, and we're first and foremost teachers. One of the things that I think through the course of my career, I've been very, very fortunate to have worked for some tremendous head coaches who value teaching and have shown a path as to how to be a good teacher. I also was raised in a house by two teachers, one who became a school superintendent. So, teaching has been something that's been a part of my life literally since birth. And so, I think my teaching philosophy and approach has changed and evolved over time because, those who we teach have changed, and what we have as resources have changed. But what hasn't changed is the belief that I have that you have to be willing to be patient and take the time to teach. And by that I mean, it's rather than just tell someone what to do, you've got to be able to find a way through breakdown drills, through film, and through communication to reach different players. And everybody learns at a different rate and learns at a different way. I don't think I was always great at that when I was young. I don't know that I'm great at it now, but I think I'm better at it. And what we really try to do, I spend a lot of time with our defense here at Oakland, is coming up with defensive breakdown drills that apply to how we're going to play in the 5-on-5 setting. Be willing to tweak those where if you walk off the practice floor and, this isn't quite what I was looking for, and being able to kind of go back to the drawing board to find a way in which you can reach those players. Because, so often as coaches we have coach speak. We come up with these great drills in our mind or on the board that look great, but they don't get the job done. And ultimately we're only as good as our players can play. And so we got to find a way through those breakdown drills and going from, small scripted drills into smaller live drills, ultimately into 5-on-5, because at the end of the day, that's how the game's played.
Very good. Thank you. So, Coach, we have an Aspiring Head Coaches program, and in that program we try to crystallize their why. Like, why do you coach? Can you talk a little bit about your why?
Yeah, I think my why, like everything, has probably changed a little bit. When I first started doing this, I went to Alma College. I was in the pre-law program, thought I was going to be an attorney. Started working summer camps and just really fell in love with the coaching profession, or at least what I thought was the coaching profession. And so I wanted to do it in large part because at the end of the day, I couldn't imagine my life where, Jim Boylan always used to say, putting your hand in the huddle. And being a part of that team. And I wasn't a great player by any stretch of the imagination, but I loved it. And this was a way in which I could stay connected to the game and be a part of it. And quite honestly, I think like a lot of us when we're young, my why was I want to, eventually be the head coach at Kentucky or, and then as time has evolved and I have a family and life moves forward, now I want to do this because this is what I love to do. I still love to be on the floor trying to impact lives. And, I think we all know as coaches that there are some days when you reach those guys and you do it in a way in which it was exactly how you had hoped. And there's other days when you realize that you didn't connect with those players the way in which you wanted to. And, I think that's life. And it's all we can do is try to learn and grow. But my why still is because I love to see players improve and see teams improve. And ultimately, I think that, that gives me a great feeling.
Coach, you're well known throughout the state by the Michigan coaches, by the BCAM coaches. Can you talk a little bit about the high school coaches, the BCAM Association, and what these coaches mean to you and what they mean to Oakland?
Yeah, it's, I think the high school coaches in this state, I don't think get enough credit for how good a job they do coaching their teams. And I think one of the things that we've seen over the last decade or so for a variety of reasons is that maybe the high-level talent that we've had in this state has diminished, and I think too often the high school coaches are blamed for that, and I don't really think that's the case. I think that the high school coaches in this state, especially the ones that I deal with on a daily and weekly basis, care so much about developing their kids and having the program run the right way. And I think BCAM is such a great resource because some states don't have an organization that's as strong and as unified as what BCAM has become. And, for guys like us that have been around now for a lot longer than what we probably ever thought we were going to be doing all of this. When we first started, that older generation of BCAM, you just felt as though they were going to be there forever. And now to see those who are my contemporaries running the organization and seeing it not only exist but thrive, and I think is in a better state than it's ever been. And we're at an interesting point right now because high school sports in general, I think, are under attack. You see the level at which club sports and the things that are going on with prep schools outside of the state and how that has impacted, what goes on. I think that our coaches association, the high school coaches, need the support of BCAM. They need the support of the college coaches. I think that's one of the great things about when you see Coach Campy and Coach Izzo, those guys are always going to champion the high school coaches in this state. And although recruiting has changed in terms of how we go about it, one thing that's going to be consistent is that Oakland University and Greg Campy are going to continue to recruit high school players from the state of Michigan. And I think that is a way in which we can help support not only BCAM but those coaches who are fighting every day to try to do the best they can.
Thank you. Coach Smith, thank you for joining the BCAM podcast.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I really appreciate you having us on, and hope the rest of the weekend goes great for you.
Thank you.
My name is Dan Young. I am the Executive Director of BCAM, the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan. We are the largest coaches association in the United States. We believe that better coaching always matters. It's a really difficult time to be a coach, but at the same time, it has never been more important time to coach. We couldn't serve our coaches without the support of our sponsors: Rawlings, Huddle, Shoot Away, United Dairy Industry of Michigan, Ballogy, Game One, Barron Rings, Coaches Insider, Gatorade, and the Detroit Pistons. We encourage our members and listeners to support those who support us.